All right, welcome to the Excellence series here on This Baker Life, the channel. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to make sure you get notified of every new video that we put out. And today we are going to cover referrals. One of the things that we see in sales, recruiting, even in community organizations is internal referrals are not coming in fast enough. So we're going to talk all about referrals right now. Stay with us. Little bumper. Let's go. Welcome to the TBL channel. Let's do this. This is the Excellence series, and we are talking referrals. We're going to make you perfect at this, not just good at it, perfect at this. And we're not going to listen. When you search this topic on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of different crap out there. And it's not that they're trying to be crap. It's just all the same stuff. It's not an understanding of the referral. It's not an understanding of how referrals work from an internal perspective, from an external perspective, from some of your natural market, some of your market that's out there that connects you to the world of what you need, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a recruiter trying to hire people, whether it's even a community organization. I've heard from so many community organizations, optimist clubs and different things, that everybody's aging out of these organizations, that there's nobody to take over. Well, one of the things that's not happening is referrals. Nobody's being referred into it. I mean, there's people in the community that are perfectly excited to help out. They just haven't been asked yet. And so this is one of these things where we need to really cover not just what a referral is, why you need them, why they're so much better, and how do we condition a person we're referring in to understand what it is that you do so that they can help refer as well, right? So it's a big circle of a lot of information. And some of these videos I've seen on here and some of the presentations I've seen in sales courses over the years are all just ask at the end of everything. Okay. All right. Let's just ask at the end of everything. So every time I finish a conversation with you, I'm going to say, can you send me somebody that also is in need of this product or also would like to join this organization? Well, when you're sitting there right now, you're probably saying to me, Chris, I mean, yeah, that's I've heard that. Well, yeah, of course you have, because that's all that anybody ever says. They don't actually talk about what a referral is, how it can be helpful for you, and how you can help the other people understand that it's helpful for you as well. So without any further ado, let's stop rambling about this. Let's talk about the collective referral product. That is a product. Think of it as a product. Think of referrals as a product received from somebody around you, whether this is an internal referral at your own company, whether this is a referral from somebody outside that you've networked with in the past, whether this is a referral from somebody into a community organization. I want you to all pay attention to this because all referrals are the same. You have to let the people know what you're looking for. And don't let people tell you, just ask for names at the end of every appointment. Yes, that is a strategy, but you have to understand and help that person understand what it is you're looking for and why you're looking for it. And if you can do that, you're going to be okay. So let's talk about a referral, what it really truly is. It's acquiring the right people into your business, acquiring the right talent into your business, if it's recruiting, or even if it's just recruiting to community organizations, as we said. That's the most important key to growth, is bringing in referrals. The chairman and CEO of Salesforce, Mark Benioff, he's the founder as well. And he said that exactly, basically. He said acquiring the right talent is the most important key to growth. And it really is. And that was talking about bringing people in to Salesforce themselves, but it's also a sales thing too. It's getting better sales. If you're getting a referral, they're half sold. We've heard that a million times, but they're not half sold if they don't know what you do. They're not half sold if they don't know why you do it. They're not half sold if they don't know why you're there or why you're calling. So one of the things we have to cover today is what's in depth in a referral so you can teach it to those you want referrals from. So what's in a referral? Well, I'll tell you, there's four things in a referral. One is belief. The other is trust, credibility, and culture. So belief, trust, credibility, and culture. Now, you might be saying culture and a referral. I'm a sales guy. I'm a saleswoman. What are you talking about culture? I will get into that. But from a perspective of recruiting, there's that too, and also recruiting into your community organization. So we're going to talk about all four of those things today, and then we're going to actually give you a sense of what to do to help other people understand what you're looking for so that you get good referrals, not just referrals, but good referrals that you can ultimately sell, ultimately recruit, ultimately bring into your community organization, so that that way everything's covered and you do have that truthful half sold sense. Because so many people have said to me, well, Chris, everybody says referrals are half sold. Well, that's only true if they understand everything. And so let's get into this. Belief, trust. Let's talk about belief first. They need to believe in what you're doing. If it's a client that you're talking to, if it's somebody that has bought something from you, maybe it's life insurance, maybe it's a mortgage, maybe it's something in the investment world, maybe it's a car, maybe it's a house. The big key here is they have to believe in the fact that you're good at what you do. Now, from a recruiting perspective, they have to believe in the mission of the corporation. Right? So this belief in the mission and belief in the corporation is really key too, or even in a community organization, belief in what it is you do in the community and how you help the community. These types of beliefs have to be ingrained in the person that's referring to you. Because if they don't believe in what you're doing, whether that's them as a customer believing in you as their service provider, whether it's them as an employee or somebody else within an organization believing in you and the mission of the corporation enough to refer their like-minded individuals, friends and families and others into this, and same with the community organizations, these people have to truly understand that they believe in these things that you're doing, because when they do that, they're going to actually look for quality referrals. So if you want a quality referral, you need to make sure that you've established the belief that you're excellent at this, that you're top at this. I've spoken to many salespeople that don't do this at all. They don't say, hey, have I helped you? It's an easy conversation to find out if they believe in what you just did. So let's say you sold them a mortgage, for example, and you're sitting with the client and you're about to ask for a referral. You have to first ask, how satisfied are you with what we just did here? Are you happy? Do you enjoy the home you bought? Are you happy with the rate I gave you? Are you happy with the payments? Are you happy with the process and understanding the advice that I gave you when we were going through what your mortgage goals will be over the next few years? And if they say yes, that's good. They have that belief. They have that belief in what you just taught them. They have that belief in what service you've provided, and you can validate the belief. So once you've validated the belief, you absolutely can move on to the next stage, which is trust, testing the trust. And I think that this is a big key. But before we get to trust, we want to understand from a recruiting perspective, the same thing. Ask your people, if you're in an organization and you're asking for referrals internally to recruit them in, ask your people about their belief in the mission that the corporation is doing, belief in you as a leader. You can ask questions like, what can we do better? You can ask questions like, what do you think we're doing great right now that makes you proud to be here? And when you ask that, whether that's a team meeting, whether that's something individually, if you're sitting down or you're doing a coaching or a curbside coaching of some sort, if you can ask those questions, you will get answers. And you will get good answers, and you'll understand the belief in the mission. And you can do the exact same thing in community organizations. You're a part of this. You've been a part of this for 10 years, Lisa. What do you think is great about what we're doing for the community? What do you think we should do more of? What do you think is something we can do to evolve ourselves to be an elite community organization? And when you get that belief. You get the belief in what they're already doing, belief that you want to hear what's going to happen next and how to get better. And that belief leads to trust. So let's talk a little bit now about point number 2, which is trust. And there's value in trust. The big thing about getting referrals is you need that emotional capital that's involved in trust. If you're receiving referrals, you have already earned emotional capital with your clients, or if it's a recruiting side of things, your internal folks that are referring to you with new candidates, or even if it's in a community organization, if they trust what we're doing, if they trust that we've done it before, if we trust that we're going to do what we say we're going to do, you've earned that emotional capital. And what happens is when a referral comes in, they have a little piece, a good referral, I should say, a little piece of that emotional capital. And therefore, there's that belief in the mission, there's that emotional capital of trust that they have. Those two things, if you can, and we'll talk about making sure people understand this. If you can get those two things, this is a highly qualified referral coming in. If they include neither of those two things, they don't have any understanding of the mission, they don't have a conveyance of emotional capital from the person that referred them because that person doesn't either trust you or doesn't believe in the mission, then you're just getting a name. And these are a waste of referrals. I don't care if somebody said ask for the referral at the end of the appointment. It's garbage, because if you get a name and they don't trust you and they don't believe in your mission, the referral is no good to you, right? Because you're going to have to convince that new referral that this is it's like a cold call. Right? If you want truly quality referrals that are not like cold calls, that are half sold, as the sales gurus will tell you, well, then you need to make sure these two things in particular exist. Trust breeds excellence. And if that's the case, then that also in a sales world means you're going to get an excellent client. Right? If they trust you, you're going to get an excellent client, somebody with potential, right? People like to hang out with other people that are like them. So if you've sold a life insurance policy to a wealthy individual, most likely they've got other wealthy individuals connected to them. And if you've earned the trust and the belief, those first 2 points, you'll get a better referral. They're going to refer like-minded individuals. If you haven't, you might get their mechanic. You might get their, and there's nothing wrong with being a mechanic, but it's not a like-minded individual to that person that's super wealthy, unless it's a very wealthy mechanic, which can happen, right? But you have to make sure that trust and that credibility is in there. And that's the next thing is the credibility. I want you to remember that when somebody's referring you somebody else, they're putting their reputation on the line, whether they're referring a candidate into your company in a recruiting process, or whether they are a client of yours that is really going to, refer in a rich best friend or any best friend or any friend whatsoever. They're still putting their credibility on the line. So these are the key things. You have to understand that you have asked somebody, when you've asked for a referral, to put their credibility on the line. And if you don't understand or show that you understand you're doing that, they're not going to give you good names. Okay? They're not. And you're probably already sitting through this video going, oh my gosh, this is a lot more than I thought it was on referrals. That's because it is. If you want a good one, which is I think what your mission is here, you're going to have to actually make an effort to make sure these things are in place. So credibility is on their end as well as yours. So the person referring in is putting themselves on the line to say, you're good at what you do. You're an excellent mortgage broker. You're an excellent financial advisor. You're an excellent realtor. You're an excellent car salesperson. And they're saying to that referral source or that referrer or the referral they're giving you that you are that person. But you're also putting your credibility on the line to deliver as well. They have to believe you can deliver, that you did deliver. That is what you need to see. Okay. So credibility goes those two ways, but an internal referral, a referral from somebody whether that's a client, a friend, an employee referring somebody to be hired, they have an 80% chance of being a good referral if people understand why they're referring. Okay, so we'll get into culture here in a second, but I want you to understand these 3 points because belief, trust, and credibility are absolutely essential, okay, to getting a good name. a good name that's going to actually provide you business. And what happens when that happens? Well, you get a good name, comes in, provides you business, provides you somebody to recruit into the company, provides you somebody for your organization and your community organization. And then guess what? That next person comes from that person that just got referred in, and so on and so forth. So all these wonderful stories you hear about people who are very good at referrals that get a lot of business, and then suddenly you get referrals and you're not getting a lot of business from it, it's because everything that's been taught to you has been too basic. It's not just about asking for the name. It is a lot more than that. And it is making sure that they understand what you do, why you do it, and they believe in it, have trust, and are willing to put their own credibility on the line. And if you can build in your business a referral culture, whether that is sales, whether that is recruiting, whether that is community organizations, bringing people in who are like-minded individuals, culture breeds market-proof achievement, in particular market-proof. So what am I talking about here? Well, here we are in 2023, and we're experiencing high inflation. We're experiencing slowdowns in the market. There's potentially a recession, blah, 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 all the bad news that's out there. But if you want to market-proof your business, if you want to market-proof your business from a recruiting perspective, if you want to make sure you're hiring top performers or you're bringing in really good community-minded folks, you have to make sure that you've built a culture that referring in happens no matter what. And we want the best, we want the top. Now, that means we want the best client that you can refer us. That means we want the best referral when you're hiring. That means we want you to bring in people that are super community minded and will really help this community organization take that next step in the community. That's what we want. And when you do that, that provides a huge shield to whatever the market is doing. Because let's say somebody, you're a financial advisor and somebody refers you in, you've got all three of the other things, got it, they understand, they understand your mission, they believe in it, they trust you, they are absolutely willing to put their credibility on the line, and now they are going to send you a good name because there's a culture of you asking and continuing to nurture that referral relationship. You're going to continue to get really good referrals. And so you have to have that culture that you're going to be asking, whether that's email follow-ups, let's say, on their birthday, whether you contact them on Facebook on their birthday and somehow intertwine, I'd love to get more people like you, or I've got a few things coming up in this talk that I think will really help you to do this. Things that you can say in order to build that culture. So the culture is extremely important. We really need to redefine as well how we ask for referrals. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of just being asked for a name for something, right? Asking referrals really can't be about saying, do you know anyone who might need this service? Do you know anyone who would like to join this organization? Do you know anyone who's community minded that might want to do this? What's the answer? I don't have to pause for very long for you to understand that the answer is usually no. The answer, especially if put on the spot, is no, especially if they don't understand the belief in the mission, they don't understand that there's trust, or they don't actually believe there's trust, and they're not willing to put credibility on their line. You can ask that till you're blue in the face, and people are going to tell you to do that. They're going to say at the end of every appointment, your sales coach, your manager is going to come up, sit down in your coaching session and your curbside coaching and say, okay, what I want to hear at the end of this appointment is, did you ask for somebody's name as a referral? Did you ask for referrals? And if you didn't, we're going to say, what could you do next time? Well, that doesn't answer any questions, does it? All it's going to say is, you're going to write down your commitment in your little report that they want you to do every time you get coaching that says, next time I'm going to remember to ask for referrals. Good job. Good job. But you can't do it that way. You have to have a much more robust referral strategy to do this right and to do this successfully. If you want to be a top performer, this is how you're going to do it. Okay, so then how is that possible? How do we get to that asking in a different way? Well, number one is your client has to, as we say, believe in you, trust you, have that willingness to put their credibility on the line and understand that you continuously ask for referrals. You continuously would like to build your business. But why? Why am I doing that? So they understand, they have that belief, they have that trust, they have that slight willingness now to put their credibility on the line, but they still don't really know why. You got to help educate them as to why, help them understand what the referral means to not only you, but the with them, what's in it for them. You can use statements like, by you referring someone to me, it allows me to spend more time on your files, on what I'm doing with you. If I don't have to sit there and prospect and cold call and search for new people all the time and spend an abundance of time looking and cold calling and sourcing and selecting and doing all this because you've referred somebody good to me, that allows me to spend a lot more time on your files to do a much better job with you, right? What a piece to say to somebody, right? Because especially from a client perspective, they're going to want to hear that. They want you to spend more time. Who doesn't want you to spend more time? If I'm working with a financial advisor and they say to me, hey, when you give me a few names, that keeps me away from having to do a lot of cold calling and I can keep an eye on your investments. Oh, you better believe I'm going to be sending you names, because the better you keep an eye on my investments, the better I'm going to do. So absolutely helping them understand that why into the referral is so important. If it's from a recruiting perspective, when you refer great performers to us, just like you, it frees up more time for me to not have to train, for me to not have to spend extra time on things that are much easier for top performers to already understand and do when you bring in somebody good. And by that, I can now spend that time with you. I can free up time that will make you more successful, and you'll make, ultimately, especially if it's a commission environment, more money. And that's where you can really help them believe in this referral process. You can really help them understand the why of what we do. So then how do you're asking, well, you said don't ask for names at the end of the appointment. I didn't say that. I said, don't ask it in that way, right? What I do want you to do is think of new ways to ask, right? You absolutely want to have conversations at the end of the meeting about sending people in. But if you're having trouble getting names, it's pretty easy to get names in different ways. Reframe the question. If you reframe the question, most likely you're going to get a name. So let's say you're recruiting into your business. You're sourcing new candidates in, and people keep saying, well, I don't know anybody who would join this organization. I don't know anybody that would maybe qualify for that posting. Okay, well, let's hold a meeting as a team. You probably have a Monday morning meeting with your team and run an activity. Ask in the room, who are the 3 most successful people that you know? Write down the names of the 3 most successful people you know. Don't tell them it's a recruiting or referral session, because then they'll know what's up. We'll get into that, of course. We're going to be honest with them. But to start it off, let's get those 3 names written down. Now, let's say you have a team of 4 or 5 or 6. You're going to get 12 to 15 to 18 referrals or names. But think about that. You went from people saying they don't know anybody to 18 names. Now, not everybody's going to be a referral. There's no way, because not everybody's going to be right for the position. Not everybody's going to be right for the position. But what you now have is 18 names, and you better believe that 3 or 4 of them are people you're going to want to be able to talk to about the position you have available. And if that's the case, you may not even have to go and put things on Indeed and other places, because you might have 3 really good referrals that you can work with just by holding that meeting and just by asking in that way. So once you get those 2 or 3 names, you say, okay, what would it be like if I could sit down with them? Do you mind if I contact them? Do you think you and I and them can have a coffee together at some point so that we can talk about the services that I provide, so that we can talk about what it's like to be part of this organization? I'd love to involve you in this process. Coffee's on me. Let's do it. That's the same for sales. For sales at the end, if you're asking at the end, could you tell me two or three of the most successful people in your circle? What are their names? Oh, I know Tom, I know Sally, I know Sandy. Okay, what do they do? Oh, these are their careers. This is what they do. Okay, I would love to sit down with the three with these three names, with these three people, and talk about what I do. Is that okay? Like, is that something I'd love to learn more about what they do? Why don't we all get together and talk about what they do as well? And you may get that meeting, and you may get, especially if there's people that all know each other, you may get individual meetings. But either way, you now have three names that you were not going to get by just saying, do you know anybody that I can help? Right? Now you got those three names. You can have conversations about them, have a conversation about the actual people. It's not just about the question, can you refer to me? It is about, here's why. We just talked about that. Now, here is what I can do, or here's what I think we should do. Can we sit with these people? Can we do something with this? Right? Have that full-on conversation at the end of the meeting, not just the ask. Right? And then what I would say you need to do is prepare the referrer for life. What does that mean? Well, if they're a good client, if there's somebody that now believes in you, that now trusts you, that's willing to put their credibility on the line because they just gave you three names, we don't want them to stop giving us names. So what do? We build up a referral culture in our practice so that they keep referring, setting them up for life. Set easy, relatable expectations. I'm just looking for people that that are like you. I'm looking for like-minded individuals, people that have if it's recruiting, you can say people that perform like you, people have the same work ethic. If it's sales, people who kind of do the same thing as you, people who take their financial freedom as a very important thing in their life, people who care about what their mortgage rate is, people who care about paying off their mortgage faster. All of these things can be said so that they have an understanding of what it is you do, what it is you're looking for. So when they come across it, now they can refer to you. Now they know what to refer to you, and you've built a consistent referral culture. The key is still follow up. Make sure, because they're not just going to actively do this for you. You do need to follow up. And as I say before, you can do birthdays, you can do other different things. Maybe you've seen them do something in the community that you thought was great. Hey, well, I'd love to know more people like you. I'd love to work with more people like you. Can I get involved in your community organization? That's another way for you community organizations to get people, is to make sure that people like this are referring or wanting to be a part of the organizations. But the key here is also, it's not just about continuing to foster that culture. That culture must also be fostered with an attitude of gratitude. And so you have to thank. It sounds so cliche. You see all these motivational videos, attitude of gratitude, be gratitude Judy, do all these different things. But it's true. People love to be thanked. It sounds cliche, but thanking for referrals as simply as a handshake, or even rewarding them monetarily or with a discount on something, can really help. It can really help foster, again, that belief in what you do, foster that trust, just massage that trust a little bit, give you a little more credibility, or being able to give up a little more credibility because they trust you more. So much can be done. Appreciation fosters an ownership mentality. They almost feel like they're part of your world, part of your business, part of your culture already. If you're recruiting, like it's unbelievable how important the thanking really truly is. And so that has to be another big part of your referral strategy. So strategy then is probably something that we built just now. Right? We know that we have to figure out, how am I going to convey the belief to others? How am I going to get all my client base to believe in what I'm doing in my mission for them? How am I going to earn their trust if I haven't already? And if I have, how do I tell them that we need to leverage that trust into a referral process? Because I'd love to work with more people. And again, that's that statement there where it frees up time for me to spend time with you. That's a great statement to really get them to understand why they should give you some of that emotional capital and put their credibility on the line. So it's about sitting down and getting crystal clear with what it is you want from your referrals, not just asking at the end of every appointment. Get crystal clear on what you're looking for. And then make sure you pay zeroed in attention on the why, but not the why for you. Make sure you help yourself understand how you're going to make these referrals understand your why. Okay. And then develop things, do things like this, do YouTube videos, do podcasts, do calls with your clients, the birthday messages, the lunches, the have Zoom meetings with them, do things that are a little bit different that foster that recruiting or that sales or that community-based culture, and you will get referrals. Scott Cook said one time that a brand is no longer what we tell the consumer it's not what you say it is to them. You can't tell them your brand anymore. It is what the consumers are telling each other your brand is. And that comes out the most in referrals. So today we really spent a lot of in-depth time on being excellent at this. That's what this excellence series is about. We are not going to spend time on ask at the end of every meeting. We are going to spend time on what does that actually mean? What are you actually looking for? How can we make that actually successful? How can you put this video away and get out there and get in there and do it? And that's what this excellence series is. So please subscribe to this channel, hit the bell. You're going to get a notification every time there's a new excellence series, every time there's a new podcast, all the things that we do on this Baker Life TBL channel. Please stay tuned to these videos because I want to see you succeed. I want to see you be the best version of you that you can be. I want to see everyone succeed from these tips. We are not going to hide these tips. We are not going to keep these secret from the world. These are things that work. We've seen them work. We're not presenting them unless they do. So these are the points that are going to matter to you most. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Make some comments down there. We'll respond. If you've got any questions about anything that you heard today, or if you've got any statements where you've seen this work for you before or when it works, tell us. We love that too. Success stories are the best. Make those comments and we will see you on the next excellence video here on the TBL channel.